to the July 31st, 2025 episode of the AMA with a lot of Ergonaut luminaries on board to educate you and answer your questions. If you are on YouTube, welcome. If you want to ask questions, we will try to have a look at the comments there. But if you want to participate directly, please join us on Zoom. Links are in the Discord or the Telegram channels. And without further ado, here is Mr. QX.
Are you going to pass it off to me? Thanks for the intro, Greenman. Fantastic. Well, I'm on the road today, but still joining you. If I crash, you'll witness firsthand the first blockchain death. So that could be something that would elevate Ergo to new heights. But otherwise, yeah, if you please join up. The links are in the Telegram chat or the recent Twitter post from Ergo platform. Yeah. Kushi put up some topics for today. One of them is Sigmanauts, so I can comment on that real quickly before I pass it off to Kushti for the two topics that he popped up and maybe wants to talk about. We have not had any progress this week with it. Last I talked to Four Eyes Consulting, they are going to push it to their reversal for Sigma testing. The domain is all ready. It's going to be sigmalok@sigmanauts.com. That's a lot of sig, I guess, right? But hey, you can't have too much Sigmanauts. And we're going to test it out in our group first, just a little bit, and then we'll release it to the wild once it gets onto our permanent server. So looking forward to that. For those of you that don't know, we did a DAO vote in the Sigmanauts 2 weeks ago to buy the Kushti 2-hour token. And what that does is Kushti put up his own time on Mu Physicals, Mu Finance, and you can buy a token which grants you 2 hours of whatever you want to do with Kushti. I don't think he got specific, so if there's any time left over, I might get creative, Kushti. You better watch out. So we did a DAO vote, and we spent 70,000 Mu, which is around $500 at the time, and we purchased 2 hours of Kushti time. And the Sigmanauts contracts are going to be officially reviewed by Kushti himself. So that should bring a little bit of confidence into the actual platform that we're trying to put forward here for everybody to use. So we're really excited about that. And then on top of that, since Kushti has 70,000 Mu now, if you guys didn't miss the chat yesterday, he offered bounties for people willing to do videos on Mu Finance and Mu Tools and the things that Mu Physicals and the swap app that Mu just made, all that kind of stuff. So if you're looking to make some cash and you do videos, then reach out to Kushti and see his post there to see what you can earn from doing that. But yeah, excited about the release of Sigmalok and looking forward to it. Anybody else want to step up?
Yeah, so I've announced 3 prizes, 20k Mu each. Yeah, for creating tutorials on how to use Mu services. Any of them, because I think everything is not so well covered with guides and tutorials at the moment, right? So yeah, it could be text or video. So yeah, please share in the MuFi group and or Ergo platform group. And yeah, I'll check them a bit later. Yeah, well, I think we need for more tutorials and yeah, for more circulation, right? So yeah, I mean, so somehow you make those 70k Mu, then yeah, I've got them, right? I'm paying for tutorials with them, and hopefully, yeah, the guys received those Mu will do something further. So yeah, well, I think we need to do as much as possible positive circulation of different monetary value ergs and tokens in the ecosystem. Yeah, so there could be a lot of inventive ways, and after all, the ecosystem is not that big now, so it's basically the same money after all, right? Going circles, making multiple hops, so working efficiently, right? The more circulation, the more velocity, the more services being created and sold along with contents and so on, the better, right, for the ecosystem.
And Kushti, the something I use at work for tutorial videos when I make them quite a bit is I'll record the video, usually one take as best I can so I don't have to edit, and I'll push that video through Whisper AI so I get a beautiful transcript, and then I'll take a few screenshots of different screens of the video in order, and I will feed the screenshots and the subtitle file into AI again, and ask it to make me written tutorial on the spoken tutorial, and it does an amazing job. So if you're okay with just hitting that record button and recording a tutorial, you feed it through AI the rest of the way, and it makes a nice set of written tutorials for you as well.
Right, and we need for some experience, right, with Mu and other services. So, Jimmy, maybe you can write about your experience of selling honey or Mu. And QX, you sold some Mac Pros.
Yeah, we sold some Mac Pros. We sold a MacBook. We're going to sell some of those little Intel machines as well. So we're going to keep at it for sure. Yep. It's funny too, because the other day, I don't know if it's on Cardano or whatnot, but I was reading a post, and I think HQ actually commented on it. So maybe HQ can speak more if that was him. People were like, "Oh, there's an issue with the blockchain. Everything's digital. We need a physical, way to sell and trade goods and that kind of thing." So there's definitely starting to have an awakening of people thinking, hey, why can't we use these tools for this? And I mean, of course, like everything else, Ergo has it long before everybody even thinks about it.
Right. Also, we now have a lot of conversations in the Chaincash group. Welcome. So, we now have more people contributing and brainstorming what to do, because it's as I've described a few times, quite generic, right, to create monetary systems of quite different kind. So currently hopefully we will come to some design of application, right, to try. And it's would be good to make some Ergo based application for trading, right, not necessarily using CQSD or ERC even, right, just maybe like IOUs created on the fly, but with blockchain guarantees, blockchain reserve sometimes, and we can think about some demos, like do some, I don't know, for flea market around the Ergo meetup, or visit some event like such a market, and trade with such application there. Something like that. So please join Chaincash group.
Mark, how's the EF doing? Ergo Hack's over. You guys announced the winners and everything?
Yeah, it's all done, all wrapped up now, and just on to the next thing. So there's been a lot of trying to work out the budget, trying to stretch it as far as possible past the missions. and just keep it going, keep the wallet development and infrastructure going as long as we can. And yeah, apart from that, we've kind of fallen back on the editorial the past few months because our editor left due to personal reasons. So the past month I've just been trying to blast out as many articles as I can. Trying to spread them around different chats, so like Lethos and Chain Cache and stuff. That's really good to kind of pull people in if you get into their spaces and can explain it. So yeah, I've just been trying to push that kind of stuff out more, try to build up our editorial more, kind of catch up on that backlog the past few weeks.
Have you tested out the Banksa integration into the Nautilus wallet yet?
I have not, and I've just seen a screenshot, but I can't test anyway because UK's got these new crazy laws that you need to be FCA approved or send every tweet and blog post to a company you pay like $5,000 a month to approve everything. So it's just this massive barrier. Makes us pretty much the most restrictive place in the world, apart from sanctioned countries, to provide fiat ramps. But there's a big uproar, so hopefully there'll be enough push to kind of get it softened a bit. It came into effect I think, late last year, but yeah, it's a bit of a pain, that one.
Wow. Wow. Do you know if it's just I didn't look, but is a Banksa button or buy Ergo button? Does that just take you to the Banksa page, or do you do it inside the Nautilus wallet?
I'm not sure what kind of levels could integrate it. I'm sure we could do it into the wallet itself. We might just be doing it the first way for quickness at the moment to get it out. But yeah, I think ideally we'd want it integrated right in to the UI.
Cool. What else we got, guys?
As far as I remember, you need some credentials to integrate Banksa inside apps. So you would need to partner with them, and you would need to kind of dox yourself. So I'm not sure if Natalius wants to do that, or maybe Ergo EF would just get those credentials for them to just integrate in the wallet.
Yeah, they'd be getting them through us. So they've offered to give us, because we've already signed a contract and stuff with them.
Well, in that case, if I can use those also, I can even add them to the Pulse chat so people can directly buy from there. Or even I can add Banksa page at Vault Pay. So if there are people who want to KYC and buy with it, they can also buy it from there.
Yeah, we'll look into it and see if that's something we can do.
Speaking of wallets, Minotaur was also released 3.0.1 for desktop and Android. I don't think the iOS build is built, right? I think you have to build it yourself or it's not built. But for people who haven't used Minotaur, it's a pretty fantastic wallet. Just to have kind of a personal standalone wallet, right? It works really good on Android. It looks pretty. They've integrated some new changes for multi-sig as well in version 3 that make life a little bit easier. So I encourage people to give it a test run again. Great wallet made by a great team. What else is new, guys? Kushti, how are sub blocks?
Going well. So yeah, I think there is need to present some quite accessible writing, right? So I'm starting to work on a white paper. Other than that, adding some API methods, and yesterday I realized how to commit merged mine sidechain state quite efficiently using the current API JS and P2P messages. So yeah, we'll describe it in the developers chat, maybe forum tonight. So yeah, it seems it's quite solved question. So working also on specification for merged mine sidechain, right, to pass it to guys then. It will be in Rust language, so it's for Rust developers. I can contribute also, but still need to catch up with Rust and a little bit. So we'll do a call for contributors once it's ready. Assign bounties and so on, and then it's the question how to fund it, right? Matched mine sidechains development. We'll discuss it with Ergo devs, how much do we have. So we still need to pay for Keystone integration to PGR 456. And we paid Dusik also quite a lot in recent months for 6.0 in Sigmanauts. Probably we have some, so I can start with that and then continue. For other projects, there are some new projects, right, in Rust also, such as Git Circle announced by my friends. We'll look for possibilities to assign issues there. Maybe some bounties from him, and then chain cache and so on. So there is need to attract probably a little bit of funding after all, but still need to figure out how much. So there is need for more developers, right? I think now it's time to get more Ergo scripts, infrastructure, peer-to-peer developers on board, right? Maybe try to look through Rust circles specifically, because it seems a lot of open source contributors now around that language specifically. More contributors, and I think it's a good time to do another round of promotion for ErgoScript, right? To get more contracts developers, and good maybe to also share some knowledge, right? How to attract funding for developers in the ecosystem right now. So what options do we have? Using Raffle version 2 coming, Mew. What else do we have? Different bounty programs, right, and so on, grant programs. But there is need for more, I guess.
Christy, when you talk about the other day in chat, you said something like, you expect at some point to be hundreds of merge mine chains once this gets full rolling. Can you talk about the benefits of another chain merge mining with Ergo on these side chains?
Sure. So in the first place, it is better security budget for the chain itself, right? So miners would receive some additional rewards, they're receiving additional rewards in Bitcoin, right, with a variety of side chains like rootstock, Namecoin, but it's not quite live. Fractal. And so on, Ether, and then in Monero, so now they have Tari, they will have DarkFi and so on. So it would be good for miners to get more rewards, right? It's good for the base chain Ergo. Then as we have solutions for trustless transfers, right? Unlike Bitcoin. Monero probably as well. Then it also would be good to have more liquidity locked, right, and liquidity pools erged sidechain tokens and products. Yeah, so let's have more liquidity pools, tokens, material. All right, would be good, I believe. Trade and yeah, it's stability and growth. Yeah. Yeah, but we need also for more experimentation, right? So somehow to get folks. That's why Rust was chosen in particular, right? To get people maybe thinking already on some blockchains, new blockchains, blockchain-based peer-to-peer networks, right? To get to Ergo, right? With tooling available and yeah, easy bootstrapping option and then yeah, easy liquidity option, right? So well, for new proof of work sidechain blockchains, not just sidechain specifically. So well, now there are not many choices regarding centralized exchanges, right? So there is big need for decentralized on-ramp, off-ramp options. So with matched mine sidechain, you will have trustless swaps with Ergo, right? Then present some Ergo dexes, and then Rosen also, right? So well, immediate bootstrapping against biggest chains like Bitcoin and so on. Ergo, Monero is coming to Rosen, hopefully. Yeah, so then yeah, it's kind of a win-win, right? So if you want to do some blockchain experimentation, then you are getting liquidity, hash rate, and yeah, Ergo miners getting some additional rewards. Well, for liquidity traders and so on to lock more ERCs in DeFi. Yeah,
So they'll be able to pull they'll be able to pull the merge mine rewards as well as Ergo as well as storage rent. It's like a triple win because she.
Yeah. So yeah, it's basically the next kind of box to unlock, right? After storage rent. So yeah, so emission, then storage rent, then yeah, matched mine sidechains and so on. Well, unfortunately, we don't have FIMOs, right? But yeah, maybe we'll have some alpha.
Can I ask a question about this merge mine sidechain security issue? Is that a two-way street? So, for example, if there's a merge mine with Bitcoin and Ergo, in the long run, Bitcoin has sort of a security budget issue coming down the pipeline, maybe 4 years from now, maybe 8, whatever it is. Are we going to be able to help them, especially if Ergo begins to take off as a mechanism for them to engage in DeFi and whatnot?
Yeah, so matched mine sidechains helping Bitcoin with security budget issues, right? But yeah, well, currently matched mine sidechains rather small, right, in comparison with Bitcoin, such as Fractal, Ether, what else? Rootstock, probably the biggest one. Not sure about Stacks, if it's a matched mine or not. But yeah, so for example, for Litecoin, right? So now the biggest provider of security budget is Dogecoin, which is matched mine sidechain of Litecoin. And yeah, currently, well, when you see script ASICs advertisements, so they're advertising Doge mining in the first place, not Litecoin even. So yeah, well, but it's helping Litecoin, right, to prevent attacks and so on, so to grow the hash rate also to get more appreciated in this regard. So yeah, then in the long run, yeah, it would help Bitcoin as well. True.
And we've got a question from Karen as well. Merge mined liquidity pools require liquidity. Seems the whales and Ergo are more passive with their proof of work coin / value. What are the benefits for whales to provide LP 1 or 2%? Probably doesn't cut it. How to target that? I'd say probably do bigger LPs, but I think the best way to incentivize them is to kind of get them excited about the prospects of a merge mined chain and things you could do with it. That's the best motivator if they think it has potential. And Ella asked, are the plans to make Ergo quantum proof? As far as I understand it, the cryptographic protocols that would be quantum proof just now are still a bit too exotic, and there's no rush really. The best option would be once they're closer and it's an active threat, you could just fork to a chain that has those cryptographic protocols that are quantum proof. But I think we're still quite away from that. At least Ergo. I know the old wallets in Bitcoin are exposed because they use a weaker form of crypto. So it's from like 8 years ago plus. And one was actually moved recently. A whole bunch of Bitcoin was moved, and they left a note on chain saying, if this is yours, come claim it. So people are speculating that somebody was able to break that old cryptography on those wallets. But it's less a risk for Ergo, of course, because we don't use that one.
Yeah, I asked about that at a couple of AMAs ago, and I'm not sure, because she gave an answer, but I'm not sure he was specifically aware of that situation. In the op return for some of those transactions, there were sort of almost legalese notifications about seizure and sort of threatening that whoever owned those wallets needed to take action within, I think it was 90 days. Which sort of corresponds to American law about squatters' rights. So I wonder, is it possible that those actually were hacked? And if so, how did that happen? It probably wasn't a quantum computer. So is it possible that there was some sort of a problem with the early Bitcoin wallets of that particular type and the way that their seeds were generated? There was also something along these lines about a year and a half ago with Ethereum wallets, where a lot of Ethereum OGs were finding their stuff just yanked, and nobody really ever got to the bottom of it. And then the scuttlebutt kind of died down. Can somebody comment on whether or not there is some mechanism that we don't understand, or is it something that we do understand and are aware of and have avoided in Ergo?
Yeah, it was a few weeks ago, so I've had to refresh myself. But yeah, they used early reused P 256K1 nonces. So people have known they've been a lot weaker for a while. But yeah, it's not actually known how they got to it. It might just be like the actual person that's got it trying to do money laundering or something, and try to. So it's kind of up in the air. It's a bit of a weird one. Why would they post that online instead of just moving it to some anonymous place and cashing it out? So yeah, it's a very strange one. Yeah, so the brute force more now, due to poor entropy or nonce reuse, which undermine the security guarantees. But we don't use those in Ergo.
I mean, in fairness, Mark, I can see both scenarios, right? I can see what you're saying, like I lost my keys in a boating accident kind of thing. They're trying to launder the money, but You look at Ergo in that instance with the 0-day storage rent bomb, right? There were several good actors who spent the boxes and reformed them to the same wallet, of course, to help out the people that the storage rent bomb affected. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that there's good actors in the Bitcoin sphere that, said, okay, somebody's going to steal this eventually, but we'll give them 90 days to try to figure it out, and then we'll just take it because it's better us than somebody else, perhaps.
Yes, it's definitely a possibility. It's just obviously Bitcoin's not that tight knit anymore, and it was a lot of money. I think if somebody found 100,000 or a million ERG, there's probably a higher chance to take it than somebody finding a couple grand.
True. Wow. HQ, you build anything last night while you couldn't sleep?
So maybe I merged chains pulse. So it should be decentralized on-chain messaging between two chains. So it's basically sending message on one chain, sending message on another chain into a smart contract, and in front end you're just compiling and parsing the messages. So both chains users can interact with each other by just signing the access.
Oh wow! So that's Ergo and Alephium. You're merging those two?
Yeah, I was planning to add Cardano, but looking at that, you need to spend 2 ADA to send a message. I'm not sure if people would like to do that.
Maybe people will send smarter messages if it costs 1.7 ADA.
Yep.
They'll really think about what they're saying. Oh, that's pretty nifty. So cool. So in theory, you could have people stay on their home chains and still participate in a chat across all these chains. That's
and
pretty
the
neat.
best part is that you can showcase your product there, and if they like it, they can use VoltPay to just swap Alephium for ERG or ERG for Alephium and participate in both chains and the ecosystem. So the plan here is to have at least the working or known communities which are there to create our own global economy.
Very cool, sir. Very cool.
Is there an analogous?
You can send kind of financial messages, right? Basically, but then it sounds like wormhole, right? But basically, has similar cross-chain messaging protocols.
Technically, here we are not doing any cross-chain stuff. So one person is doing one thing on chain, other person is doing another on chain, and the front is just passing the message and showing that on this chain, this person is saying this person is saying that on another chain, and you can reply to them by registering their token, their TXID or maybe their UTXO box ID, and then you are just threading the messages and showing them in the front end like it is a proper conversation happening between two chains and two users.
I got you. So you're not.
So I can find those messages only with the front end. I mean,
no, you
from another.
You can find them on their chain too. You can find them on, if they are message on Alephium, you can find them on Alephium, and if they are message on ERG, you can find them on ERG. And if you want me to create a registry which does grab all the message and register them on Ergo, we can do that also and use that as a ledger. So many stuff can be done.
Right, that would get expensive though, I imagine. Posting to all 10 chains at once if you had 10 chains involved in this, I imagine.
Yeah, we can set up a fee on top of sending message, and it should cover the minimum UTXO amount. And well, on Alephium it is UTXO, and Ergo it is box, and Alephium is 0.002 Alephium, and Ergo is 0.0004 ERG. So we can maybe set 0.01 fee, and each person, when they are submitting the message, they're just creating the other box and they're paying for it. So yeah, I think that can be done.
Right, or you could incentivize. You could put extra fees in the box and Ergo, and incentivize a batcher to run to dupe messages over to the other chain and collect that fee, essentially.
Yeah, the main idea here is to somehow find a way to communicate with other people, with real people real users outside of Ergo to bring them to Ergo and showcase them the DeFi they have on Ergo. And if there are people who are building nice DeFi on the other end and they want to promote it, they can promote it also.
Cool. And you still plan to release at least a simple front end open source so that people can at least use a simple part of it if they want to on their own machine?
For the multi-chain version you want, there is the Ergo version is already open source. The Lithium version is already open source. I'm just merging them into one. So whatever message you're sending on a Lithium, it shows on a Lithium one. Whatever message you're sending on Erg one, it is showing on an Erg one, but this one will just aggregate the messages in one.
Gotcha.
All right. Will more blockchains be supported, like Bitcoin?
I guess we can integrate more blockchains to this. We just have to find a way to how to parse the message on chain and then read it and show it.
All right, but for Bitcoin you can just use op return, right? I mean, it's a bit limited, like 80 bytes, but probably enough for most messages. Short messages.
Yeah, my main plan was to just go with the UTXO ones because they are not the most cheapest one. But yeah, they can be more chains can be added too. But it depends on how the volume and other options come from, because you have to understand that thing has to be a revenue stream. That, as we were talking about, there has to be a funding to build something. It's not that I'm asking for integration charges to the fee to the chains, but there has to be an incentivization for the developer to develop something so more people can use it. If you build something and it's not getting used, it's just like building for nothing, for me at least.
What do you do if you've got an EVM chain and the transaction doesn't go through, gets rejected?
Well, then we don't go to the shitty chains. So there is one theory which I was trying to check, is that technically in Europe you can buy a gift card in any stores, so where you can go and pay and you can get a gift card and you can just redeem that and you get that BTC in your wallet.
They don't check KYC, but can you buy it in cash? That's the question.
Yeah, you can buy in cash.
What? How?
Yeah, they're gift cards like Nintendo Switch ones, Amazon ones. You just go there and they just buy with that.
And you're positive you don't have to take that gift card to their portal and then register your name and birthday and that kind of bullshit when you try to extract your Bitcoin?
The last time I tested, you can input anything you want there. So yeah.
And you can have some bullshit account with some stealth email address kind of thing.
Yep.
Oh, well, that'd be interesting. Sorry, go on with your pathway. Go for it. Sorry.
So what I'm trying to do is you can buy BTC by that way, right? And then you can maybe swap that BTC with ERG. So you're technically buying ERG with your fiat money. Another thing you can do is you can buy that card, redeem it into BTC, and you can buy a prepaid card on VaultPay, and you can add that to Banksa too, but I'm not sure how Banksa works because as far I heard, you are required to KYC on registration. Because if you have a prepaid card, you can add it to Google Pay and Apple Pay, and you can buy with that too. So instead of fiat, you are paying with the credit card, the prepaid card you get with BTC. So yeah, there can be many routes can be done for this. So, but I guess I will have to sacrifice code to test all this.
We had a couple of comments from Canon. One was to point out that the Mindhealer Cloud app is active, and he provided a link to that. It's mindhealer.cloud, which is a service for paying for sort of I guess, therapy and also advice, like, for example, dietary advice using the blockchain, specifically Ergo right now, although I suppose that could be expanded using Rosen or whatever. And I think that's interesting, especially because right now in the United States, we have this new process that the Trump administration is launching to get all of the big tech companies to start keeping track of medical records, which sounds like a complete nightmare to me. But it does introduce an interesting potential alternative to that. And then he also made a comment about merge mining. He said merge mine liquidity pools require liquidity. It seems like the whales and Erg are more passive with their coins. And what are the benefits for whales to provide liquidity of 1 or 2%? How do we target the whales? How do we get them to be more active in the community? HQ says we already answered that one. And then we also had a comment from Jumei saying, I guess this is a question for QX, asking about updates on the infrastructure DAO. When is it happening? How is that going to happen? What's it look like?
If you
Yeah,
guys give me
sounds-
1 minute, because right now, as you mentioned, Jumai, so I was donated yesterday .erg and .mu subdomains on Handshake. So me and Jumai are going to find a way to provide hosting on Ergo. So if there are any people who want to buy a host, so they can just get in contact with us and we can just set up a hosting service for them. Apart of that, if you are guys interested in buying some .erg domains or .mu domains, so can be done too.
Awesome. Yeah, infrastructure DAO. So the vote just passed. I think I just saw the transaction into my wallet from Padilla. Lovely Padilla. Just a reminder. So with Padilla, I put up a vote that says, hey, Sigmanauts, I'd like 50,000 Padilla so that we can form the official infra DAO on Padilla.im. And I made the vote, and I attached 50,000 Padilla from the treasury of Padilla Sigmanauts in to send to me after the vote succeeded. And the vote seeded, and I saw, I think it was last night or the night before, Ergo Monitor bot popped up and said, you have 50,000 Padilla. So that's in my wallet now. And as soon as I get a moment this weekend, I'm going to form the DAO and invite the initial 4 or 5 members to it and distribute the tokens there. And then we'll dump the rest of the InfraDAO tokens into Padilla once we have those 4 or 5 founding members in the what's it called? In the DAO, so that we can invite other members via vote. And then we'll go from there. But yes, it's a lift for me to prep the 4 or 5 machines that we need to do. I just need to clone them and put them out. So that's a bit of a lift, but the bigger lift is for the people not using our machines. We are going to put the version of Explorer Docker that I use. It was based off an Easy Docker, I forget what it was called. It was called Explorer Front End. It was on the Ergo Foundation website. It's a little outdated, but you can modify some of the Docker comps in there to grab the latest versions and tweak some things. So that's been fully done. That's what I use. It literally takes, it's like a zip file that I use, and I drop it down to, what's it called? I server and that's it. And it's been a couple days to sync. So that's one of the steps that I can do that's a little easier than setting up the machines for people that want to join and use their own machine. So you'll see that on GitHub with some instructions on how to do it, and then we'll be available, I guess, for help if needed. But the other thing we're thinking about as well is I offered ABERG hosting just like HQ did on the InfraDAO, depending on, it's not just, the InfraDAO is not just going to exist for Explorer and Node. It's also going to exist for Ergo Docs, for Sigmaverse, those kind of things as well. As long as we have room on the machines, we can fit that kind of stuff. And also, some machines might not run Explore and be part of the InfraDAO. They might be running things like Ergo nodes if Aberg wants to jump on. So think of it like a community IPFS, essentially, but actually running web servers for that. Currently, as I said, the plan is volunteer out of the goodness of your own heart. It'd be really nice if we could find some method of helping fund this to help pay for electricity or that kind of thing for people. But for now, to build it is just out of your own heart. Also, I don't know if it was last week or this week, it all blends together. There's an InfraDAO dashboard that I built just to spin up, and that has the main Explorer nodes. It's got all the P2P nodes so far. It's got all the most of the websites for Ergo as well, and it has testnets up as well. So that dashboard is in chat somewhere. You guys can find it if you need it. And it does more than just a simple ping. It actually does 4 stages when it tests the websites. It goes in, tries to load content, tries to execute scripts, and responds based on that. So it's fairly thorough in the checks that it does to see if the site's actually online or not, other than a ping. So that's up. That's kind of the first built for that that I put up. So yeah, come along. It's a big project, and it's going to slow burn for a bit as we get it. But it's not something that I'm going to let pass away. That's for sure. All right, guys, I need to. I'm pulling off to the airport right now to pick up my friends. So I am going to. I'm going to sign off. But you guys enjoy the rest of the AMA. Thanks so much for joining, everybody.
Thank you, QX. We're actually running up on 10 o'clock, so I don't know if there are any more questions. I don't see any in the chat, but now would be a good time to chime in. If not, that's back to the salt mines for all of us, right? I'm going to take that as a vote for everyone yearning for the mines.
Let's continue over the Telegram. All right.
Always welcome to join the Telegram or the Discord. And there's a great chats constantly ongoing there. If you compare the Ergo community to many others in crypto, you will see that we are active and people care. And it's not just a few VC fans that are hoping that they'll get some crumbs. It's people actively developing and discussing the future. So welcome, everyone.
Thanks, guys. So I'll catch you in chats.